Just uptown from Madison Square Garden, dubbed the world's most famous arena, Ryan Hyland was doing his best Wednesday to handle the sudden demands on what may be the world's busiest gym manager. "Hold on, I need to call you back," said Hyland, the men's basketball coach at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice, shortly after calling. Villanova just walked in. 2 hours later, there was a welcomed break, and an opportunity for Hyland to explain what has been keeping him on edge. There are 25 men's college basketball teams in New York this week competing in the concurrent Big East and Atlantic Coast Conference tournaments. And they all need places to practice. So they call people like Hyland, who has lent out the fourth-floor gym in Harrenhal to Wake Forest, Marquette, Notre Dame, and Villanova this week. Northwestern, Rutgers, Iowa, and Minnesota had used the gym last week during the Big Ten tournament. On its own, this would not be an issue. But Hyland also had to coordinate with John Jay's softball, baseball, and volleyball teams. And the physical education classes that would normally be using the gym during the afternoon had to be relegated to a stairwell. It's a busy time of year, for sure, Hyland said. The confluence of games in and around New York City the past 2 weeks has revived its image as a basketball mecca. The only problem is that this mecca does not come with an infinite supply of indoor gyms. Thus, basketball operations personnel called in favors, nailed down contingencies, estimated traffic patterns, and secured any court time, anywhere. Some teams have it easy. The Duke Blue Devils, the number 2 seed in the ACC, simply leaned on the former Duke star Trajan Langdon, now assistant general manager for the Brooklyn Nets, to let them use the Nets' practice facility, according to a Duke spokesman. Several other ACC teams used the Nets' gym as well, but some squads had to scramble for whatever they can find. Miami, the number 3 seed in the ACC, practiced Tuesday at Lemon Preparatory Academy, a high school in Lower Manhattan, on a court with a rock climbing wall off to the side. Virginia Tech used Barrack College's arena on Manhattan's east side, and Clemson practiced at St. Francis College in Brooklyn. Hyland heard from one team, Wake Forest, as far back as last April. But that is hardly the norm. Some teams will call me at 10 p.m. tonight to see if they can have a place tomorrow, he said. Eric Ely, the facilities manager at Columbia University, said he started hearing from Big Ten programs 4 months ago, when the conference wanted to declare Levine Gymnasium as its official practice home for the week. The problem? Columbia's men's basketball team was still trying to win the Ivy League, and the home team obviously gets priority. Ely still managed to squeeze in practice time for Michigan, Iowa, and Penn State last week, and then DePaul, Georgetown, and Xavier this week. He took care to make sure that there were at least 15 minutes between sessions for the teams, who could wind up facing each other in their tournaments. We don't want to have a Jets and Sharks moment when they're passing each other in the hallway, Ely joked. Dan McDermott, the director of basketball operations for Boston College, said the top priority was finding a court not too far from the hotel where the team was staying. Spending hours trying to fight midday traffic for a 90-minute practice is less than ideal. That can kill the whole afternoon, McDermott said. But teams also want a certain amount of privacy. That can be hard for some gyms to deliver. Chelsea Piers, the indoor sports and entertainment complex on Manhattan's West Side, reached out to McDermott about hosting the Eagles last year, he said. But he had concerns about the intimacy. I'm not sure that was actually private, he said. I think they would section it off. The gym at John Jay, known as the doghouse, includes a balcony for spectators during games, but it is kept restricted during the times when visiting teams are practicing. The college, part of the City University of New York system, charges up to $300 per hour for teams to rent the space. Columbia has charged $500 in the past, but Ely said that practice had largely gone by the wayside. We sort of try to be an open, friendly place, Ely said. We like having them here. Paul Brazeau, a senior associate commissioner for the ACC, said the league made the court at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, where the tournament is being held, available on Monday for the 11 teams that had games Tuesday and Wednesday. In most cases, he said, the teams are not looking to do particularly intensive practices. You've practiced for 100 days already, said Brazeau, a former University of Hartford head coach. You're in game 32 or 33, and much like the NBA, you're trying to stay sharp, keep your legs fresh. But even simple shoot-arounds can be an invaluable opportunity for coaches like Hyland, who said he likes to ask if the players on his Division III team can sit in to listen to what coaches like Notre Dame's Mike Bray or Villanova's Jay Wright are drilling their teams. It's great for them to hear all these guys saying the same things we've been saying, Hyland said. The facilities will typically only have to provide water, basketballs and a working scoreboard for the visitors to feel right at home. These teams function at such a high level, they're on the road all the time, they bring 99% of what they need, Hyland said. The one thing they can't bring is a court.